Honorable Prime Minister has celebrated and felicitated all our athletes in a very warm welcome that he gave to us in the Prime Minister's house. And I think overall, as you have already written, and you're already aware, the performance of Indian athletes has been exemplary, especially coming from youth sports as well. So I think as far as the athletes are concerned, you'll be interacting more with them later on also. But the Chief Commissioner, Mr. Bhandari, is here. And if you have any questions relating to Commonwealth Games, obviously he's seated here and you will be able to address your questions to him. There were two other major issues which we wanted to bring about. I think it was appropriate because so much has been happening recently in the media, in the different sports. We are hearing something about football, we are hearing something about hockey, we are hearing about other sports, problems relating to the IOA, letters being written by IOC, newspaper reports coming as if India is a small nation which can be threatened by anyone with suspension and disciplinary actions. It is not such an easy thing. I think India is the largest democracy in the world. It is a very robust judicial system. It is a very respectable, one of the most fairest judicial system, and I think the international bodies have to respect the total democratic system and judicial system that we have in our country. At the same time, of course, there are problems being faced, and there are multiple people looking at issues related to the constitutions of the national sport federations. I think as far as the IOA is concerned, as far as I, as the acting president, Mr. Rajiv Mehta, and the treasurer, Mr. Pandya, are concerned, we were part of a 6-member committee which had decided, which was appointed by the AGM on 19th December 2021 to comment on the constitutional amendments of the IOA. And 3 of us were completely in sync that we want to comply with the sports code in its entirety and we want to comply with the law of the land. And I think this is the state that the IOA currently has. The President, Secretary and Treasurer are sitting here. We have submitted a written report to the Honorable High Court and to our members as well, that we want to be totally compliant with the sports code as well as the law of the land. So I think with that philosophy, whatever changes are going to come in the Constitution is something which is in total agreement with the IOA. It is not being imposed by anybody else on us as to, this is contrary to what sometimes the IOC gets an impression as if somebody is trying to impose something on us. I think it's a voluntary thing that we are doing as an association to be compliant with the National Sports Code and to be compliant with the law of the land. Like there were simple clauses which were there. Of course, the Honorable Court will be coming out with a decision on the 16th of August. That we felt that there should not be a restrictive clause trying to restrict the number of people who are eligible to contest for the post of President or Secretary in the IOA. Earlier there was a restrictive clause and only previous committee members could be considered. Now the whole country, anybody should be able to contest who is in the electoral rolls. And this is what we are agreeing with, and there are similar such provisions which are there, and we are going to be totally compliant with that. As far as the IOC is concerned, there was a newspaper report around the 22nd of July that IOC may consider suspension as if already they have decided the suspension is going to take place. In fact, IOC had written a letter to us only on 9th December 2021. That was before the 19th December 2021 meeting. They were trying to make sure that the elections should go on. But somehow the court felt that the electoral rolls were not in order and it has to be put in order, and the election was stayed. After that, we did not hear for 7 months from the IOC. And it was only when the previous president, Dr. Batra, resigned on 18th July, suddenly we get another letter on 20th July threatening us that you must hold the elections or I will suspend you. But after that, I must compliment our Secretary General, Mr. Rajiv Mehta, who was in touch with IOC consistently, trying to explain to them the correct perspective of what is happening. He had long discussions with senior executives of the IOC for a few days, and we took some effective steps to even make them satisfy them, and we approached the Honorable High Court also for conduct of meetings. Then, with his consent, we wrote certain letters together to the IOC, and finally I've handed over the last letter which we wrote to the IOC on 25th of July, as well as the recent update on what has been happening as far as the IOC matters are concerned. So really speaking, we did inform the IOC that as per clause 27 of the Olympic Charter, there are, which relates to the National Olympic Committees, there are 8 or 9 clauses. We are compliant with every clause. We respect the Olympic Charter. We look after our athletes extremely well. Our government is very supportive of looking after our athletes. We have done extremely well in the Commonwealth Games right now. We had a good performance in the Olympics in 2020. We are looking forward to doing international competitions. India will be one of the host countries for the Olympics and Asian Games and various things like in the future. So really we are compliant with everything, and there is no reason for the IOC to suddenly panic so fast and say, listen, as if something evil is happening in Ireland. Nothing wrong is happening. I think we are moving towards a more robust, a better constitution, a better, stronger IOA. These internal differences have been virtually, they will be sorted out in times to come, and we will, as per the IOC constitution itself, even before they take any action, we have a right to be heard, and we have still not had any meeting with the IOC. So I'm pleased to mention that a delegation of IOA has been requested to come there on 1st and 2nd September. So President, Secretary, Treasurer, and maybe any other some person may visit the IOC and at least give them a clear perspective of what is happening in India. And we are confident that with the next 3 to 4 months or even earlier, elections will take place in a free and transparent manner. And as per the constitution of IOA, it will be in accordance with the law of the land and the sports code. And a good body will come, and a more healthier and a more effective IOA will be coming up in the next 3 to 4 months. And I don't see any threats which are coming, having any great meaning, because there is no reason why we will not cooperate with the IOC and the OCA. We have full cooperation with them, and with their consent, I think we're moving forward. And we should not be really overly worried about these issues, because these are man-created issues, as you might have seen in football. This issue has come up that our own people, sometimes they may not be doing so, but that's the feeling that our own people, for their reasons, are creating these issues, which should not be done. We have to respect our great country, we have to respect our democracy, we have to respect our judicial system, and we have to take some difficulties in our stride. This was one issue which I wanted to bring about the IOC, that we will be able to sort out, and hopefully when we go as a delegation the 1st and 2nd September, President, Secretary, Treasurer, I think everything will be sorted out, a timeline will be drawn, and we will have a very good election and a new IOA body will take. The second thing which I wanted to bring about was regarding the CWG, because I think it's a matter of concern that in the Victoria game in 2026 at the moment, shooting as well as wrestling have been eliminated. Now wrestling gave us 12 medals, and that 12 medals means we would have come down 50. Now this is a matter of concern. So we have taken up this matter with the Commonwealth Games Federation. 19th August is the time when all the international federations have to give their letter of intent or expression of interest, that the ones who have not been included. So I have already written to wrestling as well as to shooting. Shooting is already confirmed that the international federation is already following up the matter with the CWG. Wrestling Federation, I am already informed by the President. CWG has already taken up this matter with the CWG. So by 30th September, some view will be taken. But at the same time, I have requested them, please think out of the hat. If Australia does not want to do it, it is possible that other countries like Canada is considering to do the 2030 games. And they said shooting cannot be held in Canada because of the shooting laws. But we will have shooting in Jamaica. So likewise, there is no reason why. I am quite sure that we will have shooting and wrestling as part of the Commonwealth Games 2026, which are going to be held in Victoria. Whether they are held in Victoria itself or whether they are held elsewhere, Australia or a neighbouring country, we will be able to get them included. But I think that's a matter of concern on which effective steps have been taken. The CWG was very happy to meet our delegation this time. Rajiv, myself and Mr. Pandey were there. And they are anxious that we should be part of their mainstream activities. And I'm sure India will be now more actively involved even with the CWG association. But I think many people in the media will ask questions there from me. Is CWG relevant? Commonwealth Games. So answer was very simple. They're more than relevant. Why? You look at the Indian women cricket team. I can say it for myself that prior to watching the Indian women in Commonwealth Games, I had never seen a women's match. For 3 days, 4 days, I was watching women's cricket, and it was exciting. We get to know the players, and now possibly I'll be watching women's cricket as much as I watch, maybe a little less, but as much as men's cricket. Look at the long bowling. What a great victory for the Indian girls. The girls who have not been heard of has suddenly become big heroes. So I think Commonwealth Games has given them the relevance. So even this much of relevance is so important for us. Look at Sharad Kamal, 4 medals, how much respect he's getting in the country. So I think this is something which is very relevant to us, and we are part of the Commonwealth movement, and obviously, and we are a strong part of the Commonwealth. You see, if you look at the 5 regions of Commonwealth, you have the Americas. In Americas, okay, Canada was number 1. Europe, England was number 1. Africa, this time Nigeria overtook South Africa. And Asia, it is India which is number 1. And in Oceania region, it's Australia which is number 1. So really speaking, the current constitution of the CWD, Commonwealth Games Federation, does not allow this kind of inclusion in the committee. But I think as India, I'm definitely going to have a committee propose that the top nation from each continent must be included in the committee based on its performance for the next 4 years. I mean, it should not be an election-oriented thing because you're canvassing for votes. Because without these 5 top nations, the relevance of Commonwealth Games will become less, and India definitely is a very important integral part of the Commonwealth Games. So this is an issue that we brought it up to them. We must be part of the Commonwealth Games committees. We must have wrestling and shooting irrespective of anything. And also they expressed a desire whether India will be interested in doing Commonwealth Games. I said definitely. I think the way the government of India is thinking right now, of course, it is finally a governmental decision. But obviously the Indian Olympic Association will always be able to, willing to support any desires to hold any of the government in hosting any major multi-sport events like this. So friends, based on the basic idea, IOC, these problems which are coming up with our affiliated units, although I would have expected that the committee of administrators of both hockey and football should have met up with the IOA as well, because we were dealing with the same problem of the constitution. We could have discussed the matter before they filed their papers before the Honorable Supreme Court or the hockey will file, but that did not happen. But nevertheless, I think we will come to a good solution. So friends, we have spoken about IOC, we have spoken about CWT, and of course you know already about the Commonwealth Games. So I request Mehta ji if he has to say a few words.
पन्ना जी ने सब चीज़ आपको बता दी है कॉमनवेल्थ के बारे में। बहुत सक्सेसफुल रिजल्ट हमारे रहे 2022 नवंबर में।